The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 7th day of December, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindo's. Sorry, I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Tamara McHale will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. It is Hump Day, Sherry. How are you?
You know, I like a little hump day, Jamal.
Oh my goodness, I thought she was going to say she likes a little hump. I'm like, this is PG, Sherry. It's PG.
It is. But good morning, Jamal. I kind of missed you just a little. Pulled out the fro.
Yeah, I was going to say it's kind of cut off the camera, like it's cutting. Yeah.
And that's what you noticed. It's cut off at the camera. Instead of that, I've got my natural hair out. I did a color. The gray is going.
Don't you always have it like that, Sherry?
Move on, Jamal.
Oh.
Move on.
Oh, happy Wednesday, Sherry.
Happy Wednesday to you too.
It's just so tough. That's why I love her mama more. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part
Say
of your
good morning to us.
Morning, Mama P. Good one today as we welcome Danielle Paynter from Bacardi. She's bringing energy. It should be really fun, folks. Really, really fun. The Daily Play is more holiday trivia today. So I think we've been rolling. Maya got it so easy yesterday. Maya did the Daily Play first time.
I missed her yesterday.
Yeah,
I missed that part.
Oh yeah, she put everybody to shame. Like,
what was her question? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was something about what ornament. Name one of the two ornaments that go on top of a Christmas tree.
Oh my goodness, really?
Well, what are they?
Star and an angel.
Oh.
Duh.
I only had stars on top of my tree. I ain't never had any angels. So
really?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't remember because, as my goddaughter said when she was about 2 years old, trees don't belong inside. But
my gosh,
that's what I'm gonna stick with. And I don't know answers like that.
Tell your daddy that. Tell your
no,
daddy
look. Pick your battles, bro. Pick your battles. What's wrong with you? Pick your battles. Sherry. We had a very good conversation yesterday with a guest, Wanda Gisbert. Again, thank you so much to Wanda for stopping by. I do this because, simply because I can, but I am not afraid to say that someone is one of the best guests we've had. And I think the conversation with her, we wanted to carry on into today. But unfortunately, overnight, there was yet another murder in Bermuda, and it would be almost irresponsible of us not to discuss it. And so
I want to be irresponsible.
Yeah.
I want to be irresponsible. I'm just sick and tired, Jamal. It's just it. Go ahead and ask your question.
No, I mean, I didn't have one yet. I mean, I was hoping to make fun of Herschel Walker this morning, and I say that with the greatest respect. I would,
really?
I mean, you don't want to have these. Charles H. Jefferson II says, good morning to the H family. Thank you, Sherry, and the rest of the great state of Georgia. A bit too close, but I'll take it. Don't thank her. She's the reason it was that close. She's the reason it was that close, brother Charles. You hit her on the side. She's the reason it's that close. Yeah.
And a small part of that, Jamal. I'm really just happy these commercials are over with. I'm happy
Mm,
that people are not knocking at my door anymore,
They
leaving the
canvassing
flyers and
you.
twice a day. Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
The commercials. Ugh,
Cousin Mark says, "Good morning.
morning.
Is it me or has the screen gone black?" Well, I hope the screen's not gone black on you, Cousin Mark. That would be a travesty. Um,
It
well,
sure would.
Charles says his is fine. Well, let's get to the conversation again. There's certain things that we don't want to discuss on this show. We just don't like to discuss, and then people remind us that well, you have that responsibility. It's part of what you all do. And speaking of the loss of life is never something, especially such tragic and senseless actions that lead to loss of life. We have these conversations. It seems like we're going in circles. I know the folks at Bermuda College are putting a lot of effort into having solutions-based conversations that lead to the removal of such behavior, right? Or a
Yeah.
reduction in such behavior. But before we get into it, it's only right that we do send, and I don't even like doing this, but sincere condolences to the friends and family, because condolences it's not going to bring anyone back, and truthfully, doesn't even really make people feel better, right?
Right.
Sometimes words are not even comfort for people. At this, you know, long past the point, not even at this point, long past the point where we become those people who say condolences or prayers to you and all of that stuff. I think we're long past that point. And we
Hmm.
as a community need to figure out, where do we fix it? How do we fix it? And then once we figure it out, how do we act? Where do we act first? Because people could keep saying there's a lot of talk, but no action. Well, we just spoke about this earlier this week, Sherry. People hit me up on the weekend. Oh, Bermuda tourism party or David Brett dad and this and that.
Drama.
And the thing is, why you all want me to talk about it? Regardless of whether I talk about it, you ain't gonna do nothing. It's like I say to Larry all the time, we be talking about stuff, and I say, nothing about the behavior of Bermudians surprises me due to what we went through with conscription. We literally exposed young males getting raped and assaulted in an institution, and the community was quiet. So, do I have much faith that the same community is going to have empathy for the loss of Black males and their lives? We have
Mm.
this attitude like someone's gone down and, well, what were they into? Not the fact that this is a life loss.
The first thing, what
Listen to me.
were they caught up?
Yup. Yep. As
You
if
know,
that justifies someone being murdered.
yeah. It is very frustrating, Jamal. It's very frustrating on the end that I've seen children come through the system, right?
Hmm.
I've seen, young males come through a system that has assisted some have taken advantage of the system and utilized it to their benefit, and some that just it hasn't assisted. And it's frustrating for me to watch the whole family and the toll that it takes on each and every one of them.
Hmm.
And I feel like when these situations happen, nobody thinks of the bigger picture.
No.
Nobody thinks past hurting somebody else and what the trickle down effect it does to your grandmother, your mother, your father, if you have a child, your job, this the lasting of it. One of the things that really annoys me or hurts me, especially when a young male dies and he doesn't even have children, right? So that part hurts me. Then it hurts me if you do have children because now we have a person
Yeah.
that's going to
Yeah.
grow up without a
Without a
father.
father. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like the trickle down and the cycle. So what can we do? I'm tired of talking about it. Let's do something. What is the actual thing we're gonna do? It's so
Hmm.
I've done a part of being involved in the system and trying to talk to young men, trying to talk to parents and families, and understand that this is where we can go if we don't help or assist or do something within ourselves, because the programs that are put in place, the different things that may be in place, if they don't work or they
Hmm.
fail, you still have yourself and you're still accountable for yourself. So how can
Hmm.
we fix that? It's
Yeah.
just annoying when you hit me up this one and said this one. I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. I
Mm.
want to be irresponsible. Write me up, Jamal. I don't want to do it. It's annoying.
I,
And
I, I, I,
oh,
it's interesting, but I think you just made me create a question for this morning: is why are we so afraid to take our community back? I think that's it. Like, why are we so afraid? I mean, you look at people who, they're afraid to speak up against against the government. They're afraid to get involved. And folks, I always put a disclaimer, because I've told this story almost every time we talk about this. But when the shootings and murders first start happening in my neighborhood and Bermuda, and you get out on the streets and you're trying to, you know, calm heads and so on, and people saying, some of the same people today, I say it all the time, who are complaining about, the shootings and so on, telling me, oh, stay, don't get involved in that, stay away from that, da 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 da.
yeah.
That's the problem. Too many people were staying away then, too many are staying away now. I truly believe education is the way forward. I think
Mm-hmm.
education is the greatest solution to what we're experiencing in our community. And when I say education, is the more we understand and comprehend who we are, the less likely we're going to want to inflict, or the less likely we should want to inflict harm on who we are. And so um, I think it's a lack of education of who we are, a sense of you are somebody. I know
Mm-hmm.
this sounds cliche to some people, but I tell you, when you know who you are, when you understand, what your parents, your grandparents, your ancestors fought for, so that you can have opportunities. Um, I think there's a better sense of understanding of or a purpose to live. For me, I'm going to use myself as an example. I understood how much my mother wanted me to succeed. I understood how my grandparents and great grandparents, how much they wanted to build things to pass on to their family, right? And
Yeah.
so for me, it was, what can I do on a greater scale, not just to benefit my family, but to benefit the community? And I just don't think we people are educated in that same manner or that same way anymore, where there's a sense of purpose instilled in them from young. Let's go through some comments. Rashida Godwin
Mm-hmm.
for you, Sherry.
I concur with you, Sherry. It's frustrating and tragic. It's no one answer. Hurt people, and heal people. Yeah,
Mm,
it's just it's frustrating again, like I said, and just so you know, my eyes are watering. I was like, I'm not crying, my eyes are watering. But
mhm,
at the same token, as a social worker, being involved with the children and having to interview witnesses, like
mhm,
it's the whole picture.
mhm,
And to hear children talk about this tragic situation that they may have witnessed, again, is heart-wrenching.
mhm.
And it's just so, you
But I
just
want,
want to shake
but
somebody.
what you said, I want to go back, because I remember a brother, from my neighborhood was murdered back in what, 2010,
Remember
I
that
think,
like yesterday.
2010. And I remember saying, Biggie Smalls said it best, I don't wish death upon nobody. There's no coming back from that. Like, you can never apologize, right, to that person. But what people don't realize is that person that you're gunning on, that person that you're murdered, right? They probably feel pain for a quick minute most of the time. They don't feel it. But the people who feel the pain is the people you don't know. The people,
Yeah.
their parents who, Bermuda's such a small community that the person you murder today Their family member or close relative could be someone who could save your life tomorrow.
Hmm.
Think about it, folks. Like it's almost like, and again, through education, you understand this a bit more. But again,
Mhm.
when people I speak like this, people say, "But these guys just don't care." Folks, someone may not care today, doesn't mean they can't care tomorrow. Kenton Trott says, "The hardest thing to be in Bermuda is a black man. We are
Mm.
the most undervalued, disrespected, and devalued class of people. I have said it before. The only way to find solutions is for the entire community to be involved. We must collaborate and unite." I don't disagree with you. I said that the hardest job I'll ever have is being a black man. I know in the U.S., statistics will show black women have had a far bigger battle. But in Bermuda, it's definitely black men. Black
Mhm.
men are not other ones that are losing their lives in road fatalities. Black men are
Yeah.
are the ones murdering and was being convicted or accused of doing the murders. Black men, um, opportunities in international business and management senior positions. As far as I remember, the stats didn't show farewell for black men or black women, but they were worse off for black men. So I don't disagree with you. Black men were the only ones subjected to conscription, which the entire country, black women, white men, everybody was okay with violating the rights of majority black men. Now, I know people say white men were conscripted. No, it was a disproportionate number of black men.
Mhm.
It was about control and command. So I don't disagree. When you don't value a people, this is how they respond. I wholeheartedly agree with you, Canton Truck. The most devalued, like you people grow up with no sense of value or understanding or concept or feeling of worth. This is what you get. Sean DeShield says education and economic opportunities that improve the quality of life for the underprivileged is certainly a deterrent to antisocial behavior. I agree. So I said education is the way. Um,
Yeah.
and let me be clear because people like to get confused. I'm not talking about school. I'm talking about education. I'm not talking about that systematic schooling that literally creates situations where all
Mhm.
black men are like this. Schooling has created the unbalance that there is. Education, no. We need to take education back in house and ensure that our people, and I'm going to use, since she's in the audience, Rashida Godwin, what she's doing with Titan Tours and Titan Express, that's education I'm speaking about.
Mhm. And this family support, because if we take away different things around us, you're left with your family, right?
Mhm.
And so having a whole family as much as you can, and interrupting these cycles of violence, interrupting these cycles of different things that have come about is also a way. If we understand within our household that certain things aren't right, and we support that as parents or adults that are involved in children's life, instead of supporting and being on the side of them and trying to party and do different things to children,
Mm.
then we might also see that this is not cute, this is not funny, not everything is going to stay cute. They
Mhm.
grow up
Correct.
and they remember that. And if you co-sign on the ugly behavior or the cute behavior when they're younger, they're going to believe that you're going to co-sign it on when
Mhm.
they're an adult. Come
Indeed.
on, people.
Sherry, you make such that one right there is like when children are doing wrong at a certain age when they're young. It's and it's so cute. But when does that cute stage end? You feel me? Like when do we put a stop to that behavior before it becomes something that the community doesn't need, especially the
Yeah.
parents? Mark Arthur C. Phillips for you.
This is sad. We need to change the mindset as a community and think this is a problem for the government to fix. We as a community need to work together to correct the issue. Yeah. It's two things for me. I have to talk to my nephew at 11 years old, 10 years old, going into middle school, and drilling into him. We are your family. We love you. Nobody,
Mhm.
we don't keep secrets. We don't that like I'm having this conversation with this
Mhm.
this young man to ensure that your mind stays focused, that we love you and that people outside of that can't influence.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm just like, I'm really having this conversation. Like, I
Yeah.
really have to be sure that I said it, that
Yeah.
his mother says it, his nana's there, like, yes, we are your family. We love you. You come to us. You, so that other influences don't infiltrate that. That's,
Yeah.
it's good and it's sad.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. It's necessary. It's
Yeah.
necessary, Sherry. But I think the sadness is that it is. It's become necessary.
Mm.
Charles H. Jefferson II says, education and opportunities is definitely key. When a man is backed into a corner and feels hopeless, this is what we get.
Yeah.
And I think we all agree. I think we all agree. I think when you go back to the first election at Bermuda College, I think we understand the problem. We understand the issues. And I think as a community, and here's a question, Sherry. Here's a question. And it just goes back to what we discussed on Monday. Why are we so afraid as a community to do something? Like, sir, I really don't know. Like, I don't. Me, for instance, I don't have that fear. But why are we so afraid to do something?
The reality is, people are afraid of retaliation, however that may look. And nobody wants to be targeted or feel like that they can't move or do something in a 21 square foot mile, sorry,
Mm,
place. You know what I mean?
mm.
You have some young men or some young people that can't go across Somerset Bridge. Got some people that can't go past White Hill. Got people that can't go. And so you, even outside of that, don't want to feel like this is what that you're being targeted. Can't go on. It just sounds even stupid to say.
I just never. I mean, I'm thinking of it on a different scale in terms of. I'm gonna pick one because I know she tunes, and I'm gonna pick one. Dr. Maria Seaman.
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt anybody's targeting Dr. Seaman if she's going out and taking her what do pastors do in the church again? Seriously, what's
Missions,
service
ministries.
or preach? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure if she went up where, let's say, a shooting took place or murder and start preaching in where these people, like, people are hanging out and stuff, I'm quite sure she's not going to be targeted. Like, oh, no, they're probably going to move and then you follow them. And the point is, as a
Mm-hmm.
community, it's up to us to make them feel. See, Dr. Seaman's there, but she's here. But and answer that, Dr. Seaman. I'm sure, like, she's a fearless person, and that's why I'm using her as
Yes.
an example. She's fearless, so I'm pretty sure if she went out, no one's going to target her, and she's not going to run. I think what she would do is pretty much make them uncomfortable. But the point of
But
me saying
everybody
that
is,
is, it can't just be her.
yeah.
It can't just be you. It can't just be me. And I think our problem is, as I stated earlier this week, one of the biggest community issues in Bermuda is, one, we're always waiting on somebody else in the community to fight a battle. That's one. Two, and I spoke on this yesterday, and I did name names, right? But it's getting a bit noticeable that some of the most respected athletes and entertainers and voices in the community,
Mm-hmm.
they may give $1 to charity and start a foundation here and there. But there are very few Katora Horton parent chiefs or Marshall brothers. I want to see some cop match players and some of our professional football players and track stars, right? I want to see some of our actors. Darren Herbert, very much involved with a couple of things, very much. But we need more than him.
Mm-hmm.
We need some of our folks to take up some of the social causes in Bermuda. And folks, on that note, it's time for Tamara McHale to bring you more about what's happening in Bermuda.
Yeah.
After that, as I said, we'll have Danielle Paynter from Bacardi. We're going to have some fun today, folks. We're going to try to, bring the spirit back to the season, which is what we should be doing. But let's bring in Tamara. trying to think. Let me share this comment. Time-wise, let's share it. Dr. Seaman says, I'm safe. Yup, they would run from me. We have left what made us, and we want great things. Marie Sam says, we need to showcase young men doing positive activities. I've attended a few Christmas events over the majority of the entertainment is girls dancing. I would like to cheer on our young men. All right, let's bring in Tamara as it's time for the news break.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I've been listening to the topic, a very somber discussion, of course, but needed, well needed.
Indeed,
Yes.
indeed. There's kind of conversations we don't want to have, but unfortunately, we do have, right?
Yep. Well, this is the Daily Hour news break for today, Wednesday, December 7, brought to you by the People's Pharmacy. And our top story is, of course, what you guys have been discussing, that police are investigating the shooting death of a man in the Ord Road area of Paget last night. Detective Chief Inspector Peter Stableford confirmed shortly after midnight that the man had been fatally shot. And police spokesman Gary Moreno said earlier that police were called to the Tribe Road number 5 area shortly after 10:15 p.m. after receiving reports of gunshots. And on arrival, they did found a man in the street who had sustained gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. And if the death is classified as a murder, it will be the 9th of the year. So the police, they are appealing for anyone who may have information regarding the incident to contact Chief Inspector Peter Stableford on 717-2286 or email pstableford@bps.bm. Calls can also be made to the confidential Crime Stoppers hotline on 800-8477.
You know, on Friday, we were just given, sending love to the Bermuda Police for the work they've done this year. And I did mention, there hasn't been any, and I, probably, I'm not, I mean, people's behavior isn't dependent on what I say or do. Let me make that clear.
Right.
But it's just so sad that it happened within a week of me saying that. And, again, condolences don't bring someone back, but definitely, I feel for the family and the greater community. I do.
Definitely.
What else you got for us?
Also in the news today from Bermuda, a new chief executive of the Bermuda Gaming Commission has been announced. So former Crown Counsel Charmaine Smith, a Bermudian, takes over the role from Canadian Jean Major. And Mrs. Smith, who was chief regulatory officer with the commission, said she has an excellent team of professionals with broad technical knowledge and competencies. And of course, she's a barrister and attorney and was previously chairwoman of the Police Complaints Authority and a member of the Employment Tribunal. She has also served as a senior legal counsel in the Office of the National Anti-Money Laundering Committee prior to joining the commission.
You guys ever played that game called musical chairs and birthday parties when you were young?
Yes.
That's what that position seems like to me. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, what's your next story?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, there. All right. Well, moving on, there are actually 6 bus runs canceled today, according to the ministry. So just to note for those traveling, these are from Watford Bridge to Hamilton for the 7:05, which would have left already. It hasn't left because it's cancelled. Watford Bridge to Hamilton, 7:25 a.m. also cancelled. Dockyard to Hamilton, 7:50 a.m. Barnes Corner to Hamilton, 8:57. Hamilton to Barnes Corner, 9:37. And Barnes Corner to Hamilton, 10:12.
It's a lot of buses, folks.
Yeah.
Hey, just go like this. Somebody will give you a ride. No, I don't know if we're that safe anymore. What's up?
All right, giving you some regional news as well. So Roosevelt Skerritt has been returned as Prime Minister of Dominica for a 5th successive term. So initial data from the Dominica Electoral Office shows the Dominica Labour Party DLP won 19 of the 21 seats in the House of Assembly following yesterday's general election. And this was one more than the DLP won in 2019. And they're saying over 81,000 people were eligible to vote in the election. So yes, so he's been returned as prime minister there again.
Congratulations to him. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, not so much for the opposition because they boycotted the election. That's the United Workers Party, UWP, as well as the Dominica Freedom Party. They boycotted on the grounds that the electoral process gave Skerrit and the DLP, according to them, an unfair advantage.
Oh boy, sounds like the U.S. Georgia in particular, but that's another show.
Leave us alone.
And speaking of elections, in Trinidad and Tobago, there will be no quote-unquote election in Tobago. That is the stance taken by Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, THA Farley Augustine, despite calls from Progressive Democratic Patriots, PDP Watson Duke, and the People's National Movement, PNM Tobago Council leader Ansel Dennis to go back to the polls in January. So on Monday, there was a collective resignation of the 16 members from the PDP. But Augustine is standing firm, even amid questions being raised over the legality of 16 PDP members announcing their resignation from the party, but continuing as independents. So interesting developments there.
My goodness. Politics around the region just seems.
It's always.
Oh,
And
no.
It's lenient for me. It's the lenient.
I actually know the THA leader, Farley Augustine, because when I went to UE, he was like my hall chair at the time. So I'm happy for him to be in politics, but at the same time, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
Yeah, politics
That's
is a
part of the
shifty game.
process. And wrapping it up here in Jamaica, so Prime Minister Andrew Holness has once again declared states of emergencies, SOEs, in several parishes. So in a press briefing yesterday, he stated that state of emergencies will now be in effect for the parishes of St. Anne, Clarendon, St. Catherine, specified areas of Kingston and St. Andrew, as well as St. James, Westmoreland, and Hanover, also under state of emergency. And so recently, as I had mentioned before, in November, he had announced state of emergency, but after 14 days, they need the support from the opposition, but the opposition did not support it. Hence the reason for them to again re-announce the state of emergencies. And as well, the Prime Minister is currently on his way to the US, specifically Washington, D.C., to speak with agents there, including the FBI, for help regarding Jamaica's crime situation, because currently we are now over 1,400 murders since the start of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I want to do this. I'm going to ask Tamara and Maya to do this. So Bermuda's at 9 murders, Jamaica's over 1,400, you said?
Yes,
I just want to see what math-wise, percentage-wise, based on population, what it looks like between the two countries. But I'll repeat, I don't care if it's 300 million people. 1 murder is too many for me. So.
Yeah.
Well, we have a little over 3 million people living here in Jamaica,
really?
Separate from the diaspora. But that is actually considered among the highest in the world, our murder rates.
Wow.
Like higher than even Middle Eastern countries that have wars going on.
Wow.
So it's not common.
Wow.
Yep.
That is sad. What's the weather looking like today?
All right. Well, the weather not looking like the crime, fortunately. So in the weather, Bermudans can expect a cool and breezy day ahead with a shower or two around. And you can also expect breezy to windy conditions to persist through to the end of the week as bands of showers occasionally move overhead. And here in Jamaica, it's bright and sunny. The Met Service says, however, that we can expect cloudy with showers across sections of north central and eastern parishes, probably later in the afternoon, but it's going to be sunny elsewhere. And it's sunny right now in Kingston.
All righty,
nice.
Sherry, what you got for the days of the year?
Well, today we celebrate International Civil Aviation Day to acknowledge the flight industry's influence on modern life. It's incredible to think that in less than 24 hours, you can transport your body to pretty much anywhere in the world. Flying has made the world a much smaller place and a huge impact on our lives. Today, we celebrate the impact of flying and are thankful that it has opened so many doors for all of us.
Do you guys like flying?
Yes, I do.
So I love traveling, but whenever I'm on the plane, I say the most prayers in my life.
I have to be by the window. I understand turbulence, but I still don't like it.
Yeah.
But I will go sleep in a heartbeat though.
Yeah, that's my part that I don't like. Like I like being by the window, but once there's turbulence, I'm praying nonstop.
Yeah,
But
I used to like flying. I just like getting to my destination now. I'm just I don't like the airport process. Well,
Yeah,
I don't mind it now because I really float through with all of the things I have now to just go through, but I still don't like it. I feel just flying as an adult just isn't as fun as it was as a child. You had excuses to be ignorant. But anyway, Tamara, thank you so much. We'll see you
Thank you.
later.
Have a great
Enjoy your day. All right.
Bye.
Tamara Mikhail, folks. Hey, folks, if you appreciated this morning's discussion, I honestly appreciate her regional reports, honestly, just knowing what's going on. And I think one thing that she's brought with these regional reports is, folks, our problems are not unique. Collectively, though, we can solve them. We've got Danielle Paynter coming up. This is going to be fun. You know, I'm a mocktail king at this point, right? I'm a mocktail king. But she's going to tell us about, where you can go to find some specialty cocktails, Sherry. And we know you're going probably on the website already. You know you. Stick with us, folks. Don't go anywhere. See?
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, again, this past Monday was the first time, and you can do it every day now, that you can watch the Daily Hour live on thedailyhour.com. So thank you. I'm surprised how quickly some of you have gone over there. Unfortunately, we're still working on the chat feature, so you can watch the show live on thedailyhour.com. But if you want to comment, you still have to go on Facebook or YouTube. But hey, folks, we know a lot of people have been saying, I don't have social media, I can't watch. Oh, I don't know how to do YouTube. Just go on a website. It's no different from going on the Royal Gazette or Burn News or any news website. Go on the website. You will see it. Scroll down, hit play. You can catch us live every morning. And guess what? The show stays up on the website all day. Without further ado, though, we have a very important guest coming in. A fun guest. Going to liven it up after such a sad time this morning. So let's welcome our guest today. We've got Danielle Paynter coming in. All right.
I was hoping. I was hoping.
I love it.
I was hoping.
In public without a headband, girl.
I love it.
Yes. I was hoping. I was like, I hope she puts on a headband today.
Of course.
So that's your calling. That's your thing.
Well, I have a business with my mom. We hand make, I call them head crowns because many of them are have hands and embellishments on them. But it's just an easy way to elevate your look. So there you go.
And you
We
know
need
what,
to get
Sherry?
Jamal one.
I mean, I'm just saying, I ain't got no hair, folks. I ain't got no hair. But no, that I like that. I like that. Sherry
It's a
Sherry
family
read the
business,
room.
so
Sherry read the room. She
Yeah.
did her
Yep.
thing.
I've
But Danielle,
I've
thank
followed
you.
this exciting person for a little while, so I knew a little bit something.
All right, all right. She's not as old as she, comes across, folks. But anyway, Danielle, thank you so much for joining us and coming to have a fun conversation with us. Just tell the audience a bit about obviously you're coming from Bacardi. We're speaking about some of the things Bacardi has on. What's your role at Bacardi? What is it that you do?
So I've been at Bacardi for just over 2 years. I'm the director of corporate affairs, and that captures a lot of responsibility. But one of the things I do is our PR, marketing, and communications. And this is where what we're talking about today falls under. I really help to amplify what we're doing in the market, what we're doing internally, what we're doing with our philanthropic stakeholders, and make sure the community gets engaged and can take advantage.
Nice. Well, speaking of things you're doing in the community, you had a competition. I like competition. Apparently, I'm very competitive in that matter. But you had a competition recently, and it was a cocktail competition. Actually, speak to us about the cocktail competition. What was that like?
Oh my, because I'm still fairly new at Bacardi, that was my first one that I had participated in, and I was blown away. It was actually put on by the city of Hamilton. It was their Taste of Bermuda cocktail competition, and Bacardi sponsored it. So we hosted it at our on our property outside, and it was a full setup. They had a stage, they had an audience, they had music, they had international judges, and the participants had a set amount of time to create a cocktail live in front of hundreds of people, and then present those cocktails to a panel of judges, of which I was fortunate to be one. And we, amongst ourselves, judged the cocktails. And then at the end of it, there was an ultimate winner. And it was so amazing to see the creative and innovative and amazing young people we have in the hospitality industry taking mixology seriously, the craft of the cocktail, and really elevating it and showing the audience that it's not just a rum and coke out there for you.
Right.
There's all sorts of amazing things and real detail and craft that goes into it. So Stefan Dill, who is the lead bartender of Devil's Isle, he won the cocktail competition. It was great. His cocktail was called Innovation, and the base spirit was our Angel's Envy Kentucky Bourbon, which is a beautiful, smooth bourbon. But he made it. For those that just don't like hard spirits, it wasn't like that. He mixed it with some sweet notes, and I don't know, it had some Saint-Germain in it, which is an elderflower liqueur that's also part of the Bacardi portfolio, and it was just so delicious. So he won.
Nice. And just want to give props, because we did discuss that. Props to the team over at City of Jessica, Tamara, Sadea, Helen, all of them. They are doing a thing, and to see people like yourself collaborating with them is awesome for Bermuda. So Stefan, congrats again. So he's featured in the Bermuda gift guide. Speak to us about the Bermuda gift guide. What can people check out with this?
Yeah, so that's something new that we did this year as well. We were so proud and because of COVID, the cocktail competition hasn't taken place for a couple of years. So, with Stefan winning with such a great cocktail, we want to also continue to support our hospitality workers, specifically our bartenders. Bacardi has a history, even throughout COVID, supporting the bartenders who many lost their jobs or weren't getting that same level of income. So we supported them through groceries and some coupons and financial means. But anyway, so Stefan, we wanted to continue to help him share his craft with Bermuda. So with the Bermudian gift guide coming out, they do this every year. It's a free publication that really highlights local things you can buy that make great gifts for the holidays. So we decided to say, hey, Stefan, let's take out, a section in the gift guide and share with people some Christmas inspired cocktails that they can make at home, your creations, and you tell us how to make these delicious cocktails that will impress your guests, because we know that a lot of people are going to be entertaining at home this holiday season. I mean, it's just natural. You have people coming over for open house, you have people coming over for dinner, but even more so, just with what happened with COVID, so many people kind of staying at home and refining those mixology skills, buying all the tools to be able to make their stuff at home. We know that that trend is going to continue. So we wanted to give people some incredible ideas to continue doing that.
Yeah, I love this.
Have you checked it out? Like, I have a copy here. It's actually also an insert in the winter issue of the Bermudian, but that's the gift guide. And if you turn inside,
I need that gift guide though.
I know.
Listen,
it's got great ideas for local. You know, I'm also a huge proponent of buying local.
Yeah.
So if anybody else knows me from the NAB app, I'm always talking about local purchases. But anyway,
you definitely have a great local, spread of things. I'm going to share a little secret just with you, Danielle.
Just with you.
What Jamal doesn't know is that back in the day when they had community classes going on at Bermuda College, that I took a bartending course. So I have a slight expert.
Oh.
Just a slight. I'm not a mixologist, because there is a difference. But with that being said, one of my favorite spirits, we don't say alcohol, it's spirits, I'm a vodka Grey Goose type of person. And especially with lemonade. So I did see on the website that you have a vodka Grey Goose lemonade inspired drink. But what are some of the other special cocktails that people can make at home? That's my special cocktail. I love a lemon drop martini.
And any martini has to be made with Grey Goose. So, which is one of our premium vodkas, which I love. But so that question, that's what's so great about what we've done with the Bermudian. So there's 3 cocktails in there that people can turn to and make at home. One of them is like a bacon ginger snap. And what's so great about that is he's showing you how to, coat your bacon in brown sugar and top it on your drink for like a beautiful, tasty drink. And it's got those Christmas flavors with the ginger. And then he's also got something called a Christmas cracker in there that's got Dewar's whiskey, but it's got Kahlua and espresso and a graham cracker and marshmallow topping. Can you imagine?
Yes.
That's like dessert in a glass. And then he's also got in there a spiced apple sour that's made with our Bombay gin. And that's got cinnamon and apple puree and lemon juice. So lots of ideas in there, but there are also some other resources for sure that Bacardi has available to talk about amazing spirits you can make at home.
It feels like it's 12 o'clock somewhere. I feel like,
well, it is.
Danielle, is somebody going to knock at my door and be like, here's your drink? Because I'll take my camera off and go to the door.
We can make. I'm going to make that happen for you. We're going to send you some stuff, because you said you like Grey Goose. I don't know if you've tried the Grey Goose essences, which is our new innovation. This one here is a white peach and rosemary, but
it's that you have it on the breakfast table for me. Where can you just inspired me, but where can people find additional inspiration for hosting and party ideas? That's where I need help.
Absolutely. And a lot of people, it's just like, even in my other role in fashion, people are like, they know they like that shirt and those pants, but how do you put it all together and make a complete outfit? And we know a lot of people struggle with that when it comes to entertaining. So we also partnered with the Bermudian this year as well to create a dedicated website that is through their portal, where people can go to read articles and get information about all sorts of relevant things that they'll need for the holidays. So one thing Bacardi loves to do is collaborate. So we collaborated with Liz Blankendahl from Atafel. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she does these beautiful tablescapes and, totally about impressing your guests when you're entertaining them. But we've done an article with her where she shares all her top tips and tricks on hosting the perfect dinner party, how to organize your guest list, your grocery list, what you're going to serve, best things to set the table. All those things can be found through that article. And then on the site, we also have a piece that we did with our Bacardi brand ambassador, Vernon Pemberton. Probably everybody knows him because he's been working with us for years and he's so great. But it's how to create or master the cocktails. So all sorts of tips and tricks as well when you need to batch your cocktails, properly measure out your ingredients, and how to really kind of create a great tasting cocktail for your guests. And then we also have an article that's showcasing all these unique boozy gifts, it's called, that you can purchase locally for people in your life that want to get into cocktails or already appreciate cocktails, and you want to just get them something really nice to put in their stocking or under the tree to help continue make these incredible cocktails. So lots of resources that we've put out this year. And then I know you're going to probably ask me about Host Mode On, right?
Well, girl on, take it away. But yeah, switching gears, what is Host most Mode On? And where
it's like get your Host Mode On.
Oh, okay. I understand that. I understand that better, because the thing is, like, you just gave great, explanations, and I call myself the save queen. Could be on Instagram. Oh, save. That is such a cute idea. Oh, let me save this reel. Let me save this. And then when it comes to execution is where I go, Like, it's like, how do I execute? So Host Mode On says, what does that say about what I'm feeling?
So Host Mode On is a website that Bacardi launched. I believe it launched last year, but it's a website that people can go to, hostmodeon.com. You have to be 18 years or older to access it. It asks you for your birth year. But you can indicate on that platform, what mood are you in? So I'm in a party mood, festive mood, whatever mood you are. And then it will share or spit out to you a bunch of cocktails that would be perfect for that mood. You can also search by base spirit. So say you're like, I just want to make some vodka-based drinks or gin-based drinks. That's also an option. But more importantly, for the holiday season, it's like, what mood am I in? And it'll show some cocktails. And then once you, pick something that you might like, it'll allow you to say, okay, I'm going to be entertaining, 6 people at my house. Because one of the hardest things is making sure, you don't run out of spirits, right? And when you get to the grocery store, making sure you get all the ingredients, because the last thing you want to do is get back home and realize, oh God, I forgot the limes. So the great thing about this website is you put that in, you put in the number of guests you're going to entertain, and it spits out like a grocery shopping list with exact quantities of what you need to buy to make enough spirits for that number of people. How amazing is that? I love that idea.
They literally have something for everything, and some things are just, man, where was this years ago? Like, where was this, But that said, we do have a question, and folks, if you have any questions or comments for Danielle, send them through. Laverne Taka's just asking. I think she's asking for me. She says, did anyone submit a non-alcoholic drink?
Yeah, and no low is what we call it. It's like low alcohol or no alcohol type drinks are a huge trend globally. It's not, and we're really seeing it amongst that Generation Z. There's so many people that they just don't want the hangover, or they don't want the calories, or they just don't want to drink, but they still want to be able to be part of the party and not stand out because they're drinking just plain water. So there's all sorts of amazing non-alcoholic cocktail recipes out there. And one thing I want to highlight, Bacardi has something called the Mindful Hosting Guide. And you know what? If everyone goes to the Bacardi Guy, which is our Instagram site, if you click the link in bio, there's a bunch of links, and I'm going to put the mindful hosting guide in there for you to make it really easy to access. But in that guide, there's several things that I think are going to be important that help address this question. Number one, whenever you're hosting, you want to make sure your guests have a good time, but get home safely, and just don't overconsume. You don't want to overpour or have anybody overconsume. So the Mindful Hosting Guide has all sorts of tips and tricks to help you manage that, when you're things to be mindful of, let's just say. But in the back of that guide, there's a bunch of incredible recipes that people can make at home. And I have it up on my site. There's things like a ginger turmeric cocktail, which is just simply fresh apple juice, turmeric root, ginger root, and some fresh lemon juice, as an example. Shake that up, put that in a glass. It looks like a beautiful cocktail. I made one yesterday, which normally it's like a whiskey sour. So normally you would put bourbon, lemon juice, maple syrup, some cinnamon, and shake it. But what you do in this case, you swap out the bourbon for apple cider. And it's still delicious. You pour it over ice and it looks like a dark spirit. It looks like you're having a cocktail, but it's not. And it's so delicious.
I love this. I love this. I love this. I get excited because Sherry and these guys would tell you, Sherry would say, "Oh, so you're drinking juice or soda?" She knows me. I have a mocktail problem. I found non-alcoholic, rums and so on. But you're right, Danielle. Not everybody wants to have a hangover, right?
Yeah.
And so some people just want real Bacardi, and they just want it flavorful, tasty. And I like what you guys are doing. The community aspect of this is what stands out to me as well. How can people get in touch with you if they want to maybe learn more, be a part of something going forward?
Well, the best way to get in touch with us is at the Bacardi Guy, which is the Instagram site you can see on my little label there. I myself and some members of my team are the ones behind that, and we monitor all the messages that come through, and we're the ones updating the link in bio with all this information. So even the gift guide will be there. Stefan's recipes will be there. All the things we're doing in the community, we've included all the press releases. You can see some of the incredible things we've done with bartenders in the past, as well as other charities we really believe in, like Beyond Plastic, because we truly want to eliminate single-use plastics. And that's another thing I should stress here, encourage anyone entertaining at home, use glassware or biodegradable serveware when you're hosting, and just be mindful not only of what you're consuming, but how you're impacting the environment, because it's so important. We take that seriously with all the production of our spirits. Even the botanicals and things that go into the spirits are mindfully harvested, and we don't use any single-use plastic or things that will impact the environment. So we would love to see our consumers do the same.
Indeed, indeed. And real quickly, thank you so much for this conversation. But on another note, I'm asking for myself and maybe the audience as well, where can I and the audience purchase one of those crowns for someone?
Oh my gosh, thanks for asking. Yeah. So we're available at Cassine, which is located on Reed Street, just at the corner of Reed and Bourbon. Bourbon. It's on my mind. Burnaby.
Yeah, I got you. We understood the assignment. But all right, so I'll be getting mine next week. Thank you.
We just recently launched in Hamilton Princess too. The shops at Hamilton Princess. So 2 locations, 2 different set of bands. They're gorgeous.
You are amazing.
Or follow me at Isabella_Artuso as well. That's my Instagram for the headbands.
All right, there we go, folks. We got some Christmas. She gave us all types of gifts to get our hands on. She really did. Sherry, got your gift taken care of now. Danielle, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone at Bacardi, all the work you guys are doing, and we'll definitely be in touch. Please let us know if you would love to utilize our platform going forward, if you got anything that you need to engage with the audience. All right?
Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
Talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
Have a wonderful day. Okay,
bye.
Danielle Paynter, folks, if you appreciated that fun conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Don't go anywhere. You know what time it is.
I'm gonna beat the children. That's Maya.
Here we go.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All right. Thanks again to Danielle Paynter from Bacardi. Awesome conversation with her. Check it out. Honestly, I'm going to check it out. I want to make some cool mocktails for myself. And obviously, it's helping with the gifting of giving people some meaningful gifts as well. So appreciate Danielle and Bacardi. Again, show us some love. It costs you nothing. Whatever platform you're on, just hit that like button. And make sure you share these conversations so that people who may be stuck and they want to gift family members, they can come up with some ideas. If they're hosting, they can be creative with the hosting. I know a lot of people who do like hosting. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0 and Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sherry, are you ready?
Yep, I am.
It's very easy, so I expect you to.
This one's so scary too.
Maya. All right. What country is credited with creating eggnog?
I don't know that, Jamal. Eggnog? Like the North Pole? I don't know. America? Oh, it is? It was so easy. I'm thinking something like it's in a foreign country or something.
Yeah, it was the United States of America is credited with.
Sherry, you're on it.
Well, sometimes you just got to throw something out there, Sherry. I'm like, I said it was easy, so obviously it's not going to be anywhere in Europe or somewhere crazy. I mean, you thought it was going to be like.
I got it right, Jamal. I got it.
No, I'm not done with you, lady. I'm not done with you. Anyway, Sherry, final thoughts on today's discussion, and then obviously the focus with Danielle Paynter.
It was a mix of emotions, this show. I was very passionate and sad, and then very happy at the end. We just need to support our young people. As you said, we need to educate them, and we also need to be aware of how one action affects not just that person, but it affects everybody. As far as Danielle, it was a very fun conversation. She's given me a lot of inspiration in regards to what kind of things I can host and what kind of cocktails that I can shake up.
Well, when I come, you better have my mocktails. All right, folks. Honestly, Cher's right. We're real close to the emotions, but as I said earlier, we need more people. I stated this on Monday about governance and the BTA, and I say the same thing about the violence in our community. We, the community, need to do more. We need to do more. I always say, you all can know. I talk a lot. I use these mics to talk a lot, but not one of you can say that I don't back it up. Nobody could say I don't do my part. We need to do something. Like, what are we afraid of?
Yeah.
Again, there are people who will go out there and do it. They just need your support. They need the confidence in the others in the community. But no one's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. As far as Danielle, she brought the fun. And again, I think the ideas that she's given to the community, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Check it out. Host Mode on, and the Bermudian. Check them out. They have really created a fun atmosphere. And one thing I thought of while she was on, Sherry, is people can't say there's not much to do in Bermuda anymore. I tell you that.
Yeah. And it's post mode on. That's
Yeah,
how you have to say
I can't do that. That's that. Yeah. That's like asking me to hurl a Whitney Houston note. It's just not happening. It's not happening. What's that daily inspiration?
Just don't give up what you're trying to do.
Oh, I thought you were say don't give up on your day job, but go ahead.
Where there is love and inspiration, I don't think you can go wrong. And that's from Miss Ella Fitzgerald.
I like that. I like that. All right, folks, you know what time it is. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman, and folks, I think it's just me again tomorrow. You know how it gets when it's just me.
Hi,
Peace.
Mama Patterson.